Like nobody's on yet. Okay, welcome to the Monday edition of the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Monday, August 12th. We're going to be going over today's news headlines today and also scoreboard updates. Also, we'll have the Saints video recap from training camp today, so we'll start doing that. We have a good show today. So if you want to come in and talk to me, just come on down. I'll have the chat rooms on, so everything is going to be on. So, so let's everything is on. We're waiting for the chat room to come up, so it should be come up in a second. So, 1 second, folks. I don't know why we're not getting a signal. So, okay, let's begin with MLB scoreboard updates at this hour. Go ahead and do that. Switch this over to the text side. I'm going to switch it over 1 second. There it is. MLB scoreboard update at 7:36 Central Time here in the Central Time Zone. Okay, let's begin with scoreboard update. Switch over. Everything's turned off. So, scoreboard update. The Nationals up 6-2, bottom of the fifth, so it's bottom of the fifth right now. Also bottom of the fifth, it is 8-3. Yankees on top. Runners at first and one out. Also, it is the Blue Jays up 6-1 um, in a game tonight against the Rangers. Blue Jays have runners at first and second and two outs. Also, it is the Cleveland Indians up 5-3. That's in the bottom of the fourth. They're at home. Runners at first and third and two outs. Also, later on this evening will be the D-backs and Rockies. Also, Pirates and Angels. Also, the not the Phillies, the Padres and Rays. So it will be later on. Also, the Yankees did win the first game 8-5. Also, the Astros game was postponed, made up tomorrow. So it'll be tomorrow, August 13th. So that is the MLB scoreboard update. We'll give you the minor league scoreboard update as we go. Let's see if I can still hear myself. So everything is okay. Um, the Baby Cake's up 7-1. That's at the top of the fourth against Tacoma. Also, it is no score between Reno and also Oklahoma City. Also, in the bottom of the second, it is no score between Omaha and Las Vegas. Also, um, it is 2-0 Iowa on top. Also, it is Round Rock and Albuquerque scoreless. Um, at 8:05 Central Time will be El Paso taking on San Antonio. Also, um, Nashville will take on Sacramento, and also Memphis will take on Fresno. Fresno. Okay, let's give you the Double A scoreboard. Okay, Double A scoreboard update. Um, It is Corpus Christi up 2-0. They're at home. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Also Tulsa is scoreless, and Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas are scoreless. Also delayed first inning. Amarillo and Midland. So Amarillo and Midland is delayed. So that is the scoreboard update. We're going to go ahead and go to Saints video recap. So it's going to be Saints video recap. So we're going to switch this over and we're going to put that in. Okay, Saints training camp video recap from today. Sean Payton addresses the media. So let's go ahead and play this. We'll be on right now. Let's go ahead and play it. So waiting on Sean Payton's video. Trying to see if I can grab it. See if I can grab the video. There it is. Go ahead and switch it. Oh, 30 seconds.
Not about today, but when you were looking to fill your special team staff openings, what made Rizzi and Galliano guys you wanted to pursue?
Well, the late Tony Sperano and I worked together in Dallas, and for 3 years, and he's someone that I would say I was very close with. Tony had coached and hired Darren at the college level, so I'd heard a lot of good things from Tony about him. And then, he was at Miami. I'd met him on a handful of occasions, and look, overall, I thought it was a good fit for us. His experience and his ability to teach. His teams have played well, so that's kind of how that really began.
And the special teams units here, I mean, the specialists were really strong last year. The coverage units were really strong. So for those guys to step in, they had that kind of solid nucleus to work.
Yeah, look, Mike did a tremendous job, and Brad and Kevin. Very quickly we ascended to become one of the better special teams units in the NFL, and you can look at, depending on how you want to look at it, but it played a key part in us winning 13 games a year ago, 14 when considering the playoff game. But there were a handful of games that went in our favor, and there was a play that we could point to in the kicking game that had a lot to do with it. So these guys come in again with the same mentality as teachers, looking to put our players in the best position, be aggressive and have enough things that we can do to take advantage of.
Sean, I know there's a little bit more work to do before the team goes to California, but how much do you look forward to, those those two-team workouts, and you guys seem to get a lot of productive work in against the Chargers?
Well, Anthony and I worked together for 3 years. I feel like our last 2 times we've been with them have been real productive. Both teams are really wanting to get better. They understand that. It's good climate change this time of the year when you have that opportunity. So, and then you're working against a playoff team, one of the better teams in our league.
From an evaluation standpoint, can some of these joint practices be even more beneficial than a preseason game?
I think so. You might get more reps at something than you might not get in the game. You can essentially script out what you want to see and then who you want to see do it for your own team. And sometimes it's a little bit more difficult in the course of a game.
You mentioned yesterday that the team sort of hit a wall. How do you think they responded today?
I thought pretty good. I thought, again, we got 3 good team periods out here. We'll look at the film and make the corrections. We still need work at the end of the game, at the end of the half. That's what we're doing in that last drill. So we got to continue to work that.
Sean, what is it about Chris Clark that you like?
Well, look, he's experienced. He's someone that has played, and he's a guy that can come in right away without as much of a transition maybe as some others.
The same apply about Shane Smith?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk a lot about Drew Brees' longevity and him playing the game for so long, but for maybe positions that are more physical, specifically like a Ted Ginn Jr. at receiver, what do they have to do to have that same longevity to be going into his 13th year?
Well, look, there's some good fortune relative to injury health. Obviously, there's a lot of training that goes involved in it. They got to be able to run and be in shape, especially at that position.
Sean, are you surprised that Ted's still able to run like he is at that age? So,
That's something that he was blessed with, and we have this term. We don't need to see it every day, but we still need to see it. And he's a smart player. He understands what we're trying to do from a scheme standpoint, and he's been a real good addition for us a few years back. So we're excited to have him back.
Sean, looking at Deontay Harris in the return game, he had a punt return. It was like 23 yards, but there was a penalty. How do y'all evaluate that when there's a penalty involved, even though he had a nice return?
Well, look, we pay attention to the return, and he gets a plus. I don't think overall in a game there's a negative impact with a penalty like that, and yet he did some encouraging things.
How was Wilclatt this second?
He's doing well. He's getting a lot of work. We got a couple guys nicked up, and so when you lose a few players, there's more reps that you're getting. We cut a few reps out of the team periods today, but he's doing well.
Coach Gino Grissom is a guy who seems to be flashing with the second team defense, third team defense. What are you seeing out of him?
Well, he's sudden. He's got pretty good get off. I think he, along with a handful of those guys in that front, these next few weeks are going to be real important for him.
So why is your relationship or friendship with Anthony Wehmeyer?
Yeah, so Anthony and I were with the Cowboys together working as assistant coaches, and then we've always remained good friends. He's done a really good job there.
Why is intelligence something you kind of try to identify in a player when you're looking at him?
Well, generally speaking, the dumb players do dumb things during the course of the game, and the games aren't really long. The smart players, very seldom do dumb things, and so if you're looking at 11 or 12 series in a game, a dumb mistake might really erase one of them. You get a couple dumb mistakes, and all of a sudden you're down in a game, and the margin of error, I think, is just too close in our league.
Coach, I know you talked about it after the preseason game Friday, but can you speak on separation issues that Little Jordan's having? Is that the only thing keeping him out of being a consistent receiver?
Well, no, listen, there's a lot for someone like him who's a rookie, but he's competing, and we've seen some things that we think he does very well. But I would say, and not to be or sound cliche, but he's a work in progress right now. He's got some skill sets that we value and we like. He made a few plays the other night, and you know what? With his body type, you're not necessarily going to always get the separation you might want, but he's going to give you a target area, away from the defender. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, we'll have another clip in just a second. Give me a second.
To the Superdome, so that facility, that venue, will remain competitive for many, many years to come. And so with that in mind, we've been working with the organization, with LACD, and the first piece to the puzzle that needs to come into place, and it should without something unforeseen happening, is Thursday morning. We're going to have a meeting in Baton Rouge at Bond Commission, and we expect that they will approve the short-term financing of the renovations as it relates to the LACD. But there will be contributions from the Saints organization, from LACD, and from the state of Louisiana towards this $450 million renovation that we're planning. And this is going to create just a tremendous atmosphere for decades to come. For the fan experience, it will help us to make sure that we keep the Saints here for a long term. They're not just the best tenant for the Superdome, they're the best tenant for the state of Louisiana. And so we're working also on a long-term extension of the Saints, keeping them here another 15 years. And then with a framework in place for another 15 beyond that. So the goal is to have the Saints here for 30 more years, and we're excited about the opportunity to do that. We don't think there's a better place in the world for the Saints, and we're excited about what the Saints are doing for Louisiana, for New Orleans, also the Pelicans. There's an energy, there's an excitement around these organizations that, quite frankly, isn't just the best that we've ever seen here in New Orleans and Louisiana. It's among the best anywhere in the country. So I just wanted the people to know that the state of Louisiana, we're doing what we can working with the Saints, with LACD, to make sure that this is something we can continue to enjoy and derive tremendous benefit from for a very long time to come. So with that, I'll take questions if you have any.
Governor, do you have any feel for how these renovations will proceed? How long will the dome need to be shut down? When will that occur?
Well, the dome will never be completely shut down because there are certain commitments that they're going to honor because there's certain events that take place at the Superdome at least annually, and they're going to work their schedule to make sure that they can continue to accommodate those events. But we're going to have more as it relates to the schedule. I think you're going to see all of this unfold over the next 3 years or so. But when we are successful Thursday, you're going to see the first contracts awarded, and work will start early next year. But again, making sure that certain things continue to happen in the Superdome throughout, not just the Saints, but obviously the Saints will be there, but other key obligations. Now, it may be true that we have fewer concerts and those sorts of things at the Superdome during the renovation period, but you're going to see the major attractions continue to take place at the Superdome over the 3 or 4 year period that these renovations are made.
Governor, how far along would you say lease agreement talks are? Is that the beginning, or that's...
No, we're not at the beginning, and we're not at the end, but I feel very comfortable. If I didn't feel really comfortable that we're going to get to where I just said, I wouldn't be here today. We still got some more work to do, and until they're final, they're not final, obviously, and so I'm limited in what I can say, but I feel really good that we're going to work this out. You know, the Saints have always been a good partner to the state of Louisiana, and working with the Louisiana Stadium and Exposition District under Kyle France. We've made sure that we've had communications throughout. I think we're in a really good place to push this over the goal line, to use that analogy, but we'll have more for you in a very short period of time.
Given sometimes how difficult things can be politically, do you expect people in other parts of the state to challenge this, or do you think this will be something that you've already kind of hammered out behind the scenes?
No, I expect it to be such a good deal for the state that everybody, regardless of where they live around the state of Louisiana, are going to be excited about it. And look, New Orleans is important to the state, and everybody knows that. And on occasion, you just have to make significant new investments, especially in something like in a facility like the Superdome, where you need it to be competitive. And not just competitive from the aspect of the Saints, but every time we improve it, then you're more competitive when it relates to bowl games, when it relates to other functions that you can get there. But the fan experience is something that we're excited about too, and how we're going to really upgrade that fan experience at the Superdome. And you know, first of all, I guess I should have started by saying what a wonderful facility that has been for the state of Louisiana for a long time. You know, in the time period that we've had the Superdome, many other dome stadiums have been built and torn down, and we still have the Superdome. But the reason we've been able to make that happen is periodically we go in and we upgrade, we renovate, we make it more energy efficient, we make it where people with disabilities can experience game day and so forth. And so you just have to do this periodically. We think we're in a good place now to make that happen for the next renovation, and we'll be able to keep the Saints here for a long, long time to come.
How excited would it be for part of your legacy to, you know, keep these teams secure, renovate these buildings as part of potentially a second term?
Yeah, you know, I don't focus on my legacy. I focus on doing what's right for the state of Louisiana, and that's what excites me. I intend to worry about my legacy about 4 years from now. Not now, to be honest with you, but this is just the right thing to do for our state, and that's what excites me.
If I could just ask one more question, I apologize.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Not looking past the Superdome, with the New Orleans Arena, the Smoothie King Center potentially also, once this deal is done, be looked at as an upgrade as well?
We haven't had those conversations, but you do know that just like for the Superdome, every arena of that type has to be upgraded periodically. And I don't know what that schedule is right now. It's not part of our present negotiations, and so I just don't want to get there. But clearly, at some point in the future, that's going to have to happen.
Is there any expected to happen next year?
Yeah, well, I'll let the LSCD make that announcement in concert with SMG at the appropriate time. And a lot of that is already in the public domain. But what you're going to see is an effort to make more natural light available inside the Superdome. You're going to replace some areas that are not being well utilized right now with areas that will add to the fan experience. I think you're going to see some ground level end zone bunker type seating or standing, because I think most of the people stand when they go there. So you're going to see some of the features that have been incorporated in some of the latest stadiums added to the Superdome, because we know that's what fans all around the country and here in Louisiana expect.
Was there any discussion at all about building a new stadium?
No. Look, the Superdome is an iconic stadium. It has served the city and the state extremely well. How could you improve upon the location? It's in walking distance within tens of thousands of hotel rooms, and the parking is available there. So the idea that we would move the Superdome, that never came into, or I shouldn't say move the Superdome, but create a new arena away from the current site of the Superdome. That never crossed our minds and has not been part of our discussion.
One last question.
You're a former quarterback. You met with Drew Brees a few minutes ago. Did you give him any tips?
I challenged him. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I did not give him any tips other than I just told him that I'm a big fan. I may be his biggest fan. And it's not just his play on the field. He is a tremendous citizen, and he's involved himself in so many ways in the community, both here in New Orleans and around the state. Most recently, he decided that he would participate in an initiative to help veterans transition from military life to civilian life and to open and sustain and grow small businesses, and you're going to see that unfold in the next several days. And I appreciate the Saints organization because they have always been a pro-military, pro-veteran organization, and this is just the latest example of that. All right? Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
I am going to say this about that $450 billion renovation project. I think it's going to help the Superdome in the long run because, look, it can bring in the bowl games and stuff like that. The national championship is going to be coming this year, next year. So I think it's very important that we do maintain the Superdome because, look, the Superdome is 40-something years old. Look, I've been in that dome. Look, I'll be honest with you, that dome, look, it never ceased to amaze me. So that's one thing about it. So we'll go over to some more clips from today's Saints training camp video recap. So we'll go ahead and do that. If you have any questions about the Dome, feel free to post your comments through Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch on via Restream. So let's go ahead and play some more clips out of, let's go ahead and do that. I'm about to switch it over 1 second. So give me a few seconds to switch it. Switch over to the one of the clips. There it is.
Yeah. See how good people.
It's almost like the 38th parallel.
Ole Miss? Look out now. Howdy toddy. I got all your boys down there, Slick, Shay, Mike. You got your hands full of man. Do I? Dealing with them threes. Yeah, I know it, bro. We go on the road, boy, it'd be rough on me, dog. Dealing with them threes. You keep them straight.
Laura, how much you looking forward to California? You've never been competing against a different player.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think our time in LA last year was really helpful. It's a good group out there. I really like A-Lin, like what he's doing with the organization. A lot of great players out there. Look, a lot of cross work that we can do. It's always good when you can practice against somebody other than the same face, just to get another look, different type of tempo. And the weather's a little bit different out there too.
Do you think the starters look forward to these joint practices because of the extended reps and maybe the higher intensity than they do preseason game?
It's all work, it's all work, just something that can get better, and it's different, and it's, you kind of work up in phases, first it's work without pads, then it's work with pads, then it's going against somebody else, and everything kind of helps leading up to that week one, which is where you want to be in full stride, and so I think all of it is helpful, so you just try to take it in stride.
Which one would you say is more beneficial, the preseason games or practices?
It's all beneficial. I wouldn't say it's just different. You want those live reps because in practice it's a practice rep. You're able to go back and watch the tape, get it corrected. In the game, it's almost like when it happens, it is what it is. It's on tape now. You can't get that rep back. So all of it is beneficial. It's all needed. I think everybody in the league probably is like glad that they don't have a week 1 game tomorrow. And so you just want to keep taking it in stride and get better every day.
Mario, what kind of attitude have you seen out of Caden Ellis? He seems like a guy who's just kind of like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to kind of get after it out there.
I think he comes from a good pedigree. Dad played in the league a long time, did really well, and you can tell it's in his genes. A good football player. You get somebody like that that's just hungry to learn, that loves the game of football. The sky's really the limit for him. It's really on him at that point. How good he really can be. It'd be on him.
You said one of the lessons he's learned so far from you is to let football breathe and not just be all about it all the time, like time for family and everything like that. Why is that important for a young player?
It's probably most important for a young player to let the game breathe. You come in and there's so much information. You go to practice and you're learning to do stuff. Then you play another team, you learn even more. There's so much information, but your brain hasn't expanded enough to be able to take it all in because you haven't been around the game long enough. And so you look at an 8th-year guy and want to go out and make the same type of play he makes. It's probably not going to be the same because he's seen that play 100 more times than you. And so being able after practice to go in, kind of let your brain breathe, get in the tub, shower, relax a little bit, call back home, talk to your people, and then come back to it. It's probably most important for a young guy because they'll go from the practice field, go watch the film, back to the practice field, back watch film. They're looking at their playbooks all night. Their mind never is trying to take in so much information, and it's kind of like mental overload, and they actually become a worse player than a better player. But if they let it breathe, that's when you see the young guys that do good.
Looking back at the last couple days, like from a rest and recovery standpoint, how stressful was that the last couple days just after a preseason game?
Our training camp's been hard, and our practice has been intense, and to go in the game, come back. But it's training camp. It's supposed to be hard. It's the only way you're gonna get better. You don't want the season to be hard. You want to go through the stresses in a time like now, so that the time the season gets here is easier.
Even at 34 years old, how do you feel like Ted Ginn still can stress it?
That's unbelievable. I hope I can run like him when he's 34. When I'm 34, I'll be all right.
You don't see a drop off like in his ability to run and his speed, I guess.
You still see him getting behind people, don't you? So these guys, DBs ain't slow. So I'm not out there on that island to know exactly how fast he's running, but if he's getting behind defensive backs who run 4.3 or 4.4 and tell you how fast he's running, and at 34 years old, that's pretty incredible to me.
Briggs is someone else in the building, obviously, who's had to push the limit as far as players being able to play at a certain age. Like, do you ever go to Ted Ginn and just ask him what's in his regimen or how he's taking care of his body? Maybe some of it's luck and hereditary, I guess. But you ever kind of bounce ideas off of him?
No, you just watch guys like that. You always see them in the building. You see them with their routines. You see how they eat. You kind of see guys like that, they're in the same place doing the same thing every day, and you just realize, so much of this game and longevity is about having a good routine that works. And I think every player is different. Part of it may be genes, part of it, a lot of it may be, focus and discipline, and it's just a credit to them.
Good morning. When you look at your accomplishments, what I mean by that, only 4 times in Saints history. You look Ricky Jackson twice, Von Johnson, where he had at least 110 tackles. And 5 sacks, and you did it also in a Jets uniform. Is that just kind of a measuring stick that, you involved in the pass rush, getting 5 sacks and over that 100 mark of tackles?
I think it's, first of all, it's a blessing, to be able to make it through, have enough games to be able to get those stats, and this game is 100% injury, so I count it as a blessing from God every time I'm able to make it through a full season. I think that's a big part of it. Then so much of it is coaches looking at your ability and putting you in position to be successful, and then trusting the scheme and being where you're supposed to be. And then I think playing with a unit like this that's really good on the offensive side of the ball puts us in a lot more third downs, where they throw the ball to the running backs on check downs more, so you get more tackles. and the third down you get more pressures, put them in longer situations. That opens it up and makes it easier because in the Jets, the difference in the Jets was I did it in 100% of snaps, and here I did it on like 89% of the snaps. So you see like the difference is it's easier to do it on a team like this because of the makeup and the dynamics.
Near the end of the year, I mean, that difference in snap count, I think it was about 100 or so between the Jets and here. I mean, could you feel that difference at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Into the playoffs, like I feel fresher.
And that's a good, that's another tribute to the coaches. My coach kind of talked about that early on. He was like, listen, where you were before, you didn't have to prepare your body for postseason. Now you need to make sure that you're prepared to go in the postseason. So we're going to kind of try to protect you in that way. So that was helpful.
What do you like about the joint practices coming up, and then in particular, do you like anything about going against the Chargers?
I'm looking forward to the weather, that's for sure. And then they got some good players over there, some good tight ends and backs, so that should be some good cross work. Looking forward to that. Like A-Land, great coach, love what he's doing with the organization. And we had great practices out there last year, very competitive, very professional practices, so I'm looking forward to it.
Tomorrow, how about Phillip Rivers going against a guy that's very similar to Drew Brees, obviously, with all his experience?
It's good work. It's kind of the best work. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the game. You're going to see it from the best. You know, checks at the line of scrimmage, reading of the defense, understanding where to go with the ball. You know, you can't get a better look than that.
All right,
hey, thank you guys.
Chance to do both.
Were you in New Orleans when the call came, or where were you training?
I actually was. So my mom turned 60 Saturday, and we had threw a big party.
Happy birthday!
and then after that, you know, I got the call that morning preparing for the party, and it was like, you want to come in for a workout? I was like, hey, I'm all for it. I'm already here. So it worked out good.
What had you been doing prior to that, just kind of getting ready for all that?
Been training up in Houston. I live in Houston. Been training down there, so I've been in the heat a little bit. Just trying to make sure I'm ready for. I actually had a couple teams call me, but I didn't want to. I kept faith that the Saints would call me. I actually honestly wanted to come here. Like I said, 3 teams called me, and I didn't want to go. So I just kept training and kept pushing and hoping that the call would come.
How much of a Saints fan were you growing up?
I'm always a Saints fan. So it was tough for me last year playing for the Panthers because I was a Saints fan. You know, so it's like, what do I do? I'm in a rock and hard place. So I got hurt that game. So I didn't play. You know, so I was in a win-win situation with that.
You also did you get hurt or you got hurt?
There you go. But what you supposed to say?
You also played for the Bucks too, right?
Yeah, but so originally when I first came out, I was playing for. I just did training camp with them. But they were one of the teams that called me to come in. They actually called me 2 or 3 times to come in and play with them. So I'm just trying to get acclimated to this heat and you know, don't be sluggish and get back going. Humidity is real.
So Chris, what is your background? I believe McDonough 35.
Yes.
And how do you end up at Southern Miss? What was
so I pretty much had every school in Louisiana, and in high school I started both ways at tackle and defensive end, and you know, Southern Miss was the only school that told me they would let me play both ways. Yeah, so I believed it. So when I got down there, man, you know, I ended up playing tackle. I was like 235, so I gained 50 pounds in 1 year, and it worked out. So I'm grateful for it, and had a great group of guys down there at Southern Miss that took care of me and, you know, led by example.
Have you had a chance to talk to Cameron Tom yet?
I did, man.
Y'all didn't overlap at all?
No, we didn't. I missed him. Okay. Yeah, I missed him. So it's a good deal though, man. I'm way older than him.
Right.
Yeah. So, but like 10 years. But it's been a good deal, and this organization is great.
You talked to Coach Reese yet?
Appreciate it.
You talked to Coach Reese?
I did. So no one knows. Okay. No one knows. My wife and one of my good friends, Marcus Cummins, was out here today. So we ended up. He was like, "Why you didn't tell me?" I said, "Nobody knows. The university knows." So it was cool, man.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Congrats to you.
Appreciate it.
To whether it's make checks or make calls, and we had no false starts or anything like that. So the guys are locked in. That shows great discipline right there. Did a great job just moving the ball or getting scoring drives. Of course, we would love more touchdowns and field goals, but everything was pretty smooth for the most part. Of course, there are always some areas that you have to improve in, and I think that's why we're here practicing.
Coach had mentioned yesterday that it seemed like the team had played well. How would you assess yesterday's practice compared to today?
Yeah, it's camp, so there are going to be days that feel like camp days, and there are going to be days that you come out here and you feel fresh. So it's part of the game. But I know one thing, you have to continue to be mentally strong when you do hit that wall, and you have to know how to fight through and find something within that motivates you still. And I think that's what we've been able to do as a team. Guys continue to come to work every day. Like I said, of course, it's camp. Some guys may feel like, hey, man, I'm hitting that wall, but somewhere, somehow, we find that willpower from deep within and continue to come out here and give it our all.
So it would be safe to say, like, compared to yesterday, there was more pep in the step from y'all today?
I wasn't really aware of yesterday, but I know today we came out with some energy, guys flying around, and that's exciting to see.
Teddy, when you look at the skilled people practicing against the Chargers, you have to look forward to that, going against different DBs and not the same, quarterbacks and the schemes.
Yeah, it'll be fun, definitely, competing against those guys for a couple days and getting to playing a game against those guys. I'm pretty sure our guys are excited to go against a different color jersey as well. We've been battling each other and continue to make ourselves better as a team. And sometimes it's great to see where you stand next to your opponents. So being able to practice against LA for a couple days will be pretty fun.
Teddy, the joint practices compared to the preseason games, do you approach one differently than the other? Is there one where you're like, I'm going to work on this in the practices, do it in the games, vice versa? How do you approach each one?
Well, you always, for me, I'll speak for myself, I always try to approach it with the same mindset. Like every rep has to be at game tempo, game speed. And I know that with these joint practices, though, you tend to see a little more than what you see in the actual game because teams don't want to show too much in the preseason games. But it'll be fun just being able to go against different looks and being able to see what those guys do well and see what areas we have to improve in and see what we do well against some of the things that they do well.
Teddy, when you're throwing to Ted Ginn, how much is he still a receiver? When you're throwing to him, he stresses your arm maybe a little bit more than other guys based on how he gets down the field.
When you throw on time and rhythm, it makes playing football much easier. And Ted's a guy, he understands quarterback progressions, he understands the drops that the quarterback is taking. So he does a great job of setting up routes to time it with our feet. So he is a guy who can fly, and you love to have that kind of guy in this offense. So you have to know that, hey, when you have a play call to Ted, you have to be ready to throw it.
Are you surprised he can still run that fast at his age?
Not at all. Ted, he's a guy who, he has that natural ability to just run. So,
as a quarterback, you've played with some pretty good receivers in your career. What do you look for in a receiver in your skill set that makes them a great at that question?
Yeah, for the most part, you want a guy who's a smart football player, who understands and who's able to adjust on the fly because as he's running routes, things are happening in front of him. The defense may be changing. There may be rotation with the safeties and things like that. So a smart football player is aware of those changes that are happening within the play and know how to be in the right place at the right time. So a guy who understands what the defense is doing, a guy who understands the quarterback's progression, those are special players.
A lot of that is like the technical stuff for players to say, but like how important is the chemistry and rapport between a quarterback and a wide receiver for him to take that next level to greatness?
Well, it's very important. You can't play the game if you don't have the chemistry. And that's why we have, different periods of the year where we get to work on building that chemistry and that timing, whether it's in the spring during OTAs or right now in training camp. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
Okay, this concludes the
Looking to fill your
Saints video recap. I'm watching the comments on YouTube. They had somebody saying that the Saints might leave. No, not even close. They're not leaving. It's only they're only gonna be the Saints. I'm gonna be honest with you. They're gonna stay in NOLA. That's one thing. With the $450 billion renovation with the Superdome Bucks, they're gonna accommodate the Saints. That's what they're gonna do. So people, please don't worry about that. So they will have the accommodations during the renovation. So I had to get that out there. So let's go ahead and switch this over to back over to the other screen. We'll go over some news headlines. Let's go ahead and switch this over. Okay, let's talk about Richard Matthews. He's cut from the Saints. Day after leaving the Saints, Richard Matthews retires from the NFL in an emotional Instagram post. So, look, this was unfortunate for this young man to um, be cut by the Saints. But the truth of the matter is, look, it's a business, folks. It's a business. You get cut every day. I mean, if you don't perform your job, you get cut. That's the bottom line. So he's a 7-year veteran. So unfortunately, look, it's a lot of look. He did retire, so I wish him all the best of luck, Richard Matthews, in his endeavors. So the photo reads, the game has given me and my family so much that no longer exists. So that's what he's saying in the article. So I look at it this way. Look, this is what we're showing you right here. This is the Instagram picture of Richard Matthews' post right here. So I look at it this way. Look, if he can find him another job, hopefully he can, but I don't think he will because look, he had a 7-year career, 7 year stint with another team. So I look at it this way. Look, it's unorthodox for him to be released like that. But the truth of the matter is, look, the NFL, look, you know what the old saying is, not for long. So that's my take on it. This is from Amy Just. You can reach her at the Advocate / Times Picayune. That's the Advocate / Times Picayune. Switch it over. Okay, let's talk about Destrehan Quincy Brown. Let's talk about him. Destrehan wide receiver Quincy Brown, top class in 2021 wideout, commits to Mississippi State. So he's going to go to Mississippi State. So I think that's good for the young man to get to go there. He is a top recruit in the 2021 class, but he is going to go to Mississippi State. So Quincy Brown was ranked 33rd in the wideouts in the country, also by 247 Sports. Also, let's see, he was 7th overall in recruiting. He is committed to Mississippi State. It was Twitter. He's the 4-star recruit who is rated in the top 200 in the nation by both 247 Sports. So I look at it this way. Look, this young man, look, he found him a good school, and that's Mississippi State. So I look at it this way. That's helping out Mississippi State's recruiting. So once again, this is from Nathan Brown. You can reach him at the Advocate / Times Picayune. So you most likely will see him this year making plays for Destrehan. So that's good. Congratulations to him. Okay, let's switch it over. Okay, let's see what's talk. Let's see. Okay, by the numbers. Okay, by the numbers. A deep dive into the stats of around the Pelicans 19 and 20 schedule. So it's from Nathan Brown. You can reach him once again at the Advocate. The schedule was released today. We'll go ahead and go over the Pelicans. A certainly stronger roster and top to bottom. So I think that's going to be good going into the 2019 to 20 season. Also, um, after a very, very long hiatus, Pelicans will feature twice on ABC, so they're going to be on ABC during the regular season. So I think that's good. That's good exposure for the Pelicans as well. Also, Pelicans face four Western Conference opponents. Um, Great time, Denver, Phoenix, and let's see, Sacramento, also Minnesota. So that's going to be some good schedules right there. That's going to be a very good schedule. I'm going to be honest with you. That's this team. Look, this team's got Zion Williamson, Jackson Hayes, and JJ Redick. So I think it's going to be a good season. To be honest with you, to start off with. Um, Also, 18th through 25th at Minnesota, at Golden State. Also, they will have Denver. Um, so that will be March 8th through 14th, and also at Minnesota, at Sacramento. That's going to be Sacramento. Also, Utah. Um, and then they have the Clippers. And then on March 29th through um, April 5th, they will have Orlando, Atlanta, Washington, San Antonio, and four long game stretch. It'll be a home game stretch. That'll be April 7th through 13th against Charlotte, Phoenix, Philadelphia, and also Washington. So that's going to be some pretty good um, schedules to bear. This is a whole bunch of stuff that he's showing you. So we'll show you the schedule. I'm gonna see if I can get the schedule up on screen. Let me see if I can find the schedule. I'll give you a little glimpse of it. I'll go ahead and give you a glimpse of it. I'm gonna go to the Pelicans website, give you a glimpse to it of the new schedule. So let's go ahead and give you that new schedule right now. I'm about to do that in a second. Let me switch it over to the Pelicans website. See. Yeah, this will be the new Pelican schedule. I'm going to go ahead and switch it up. Give me 1 second to switch it. All right, this is the new 2019 to 2020 schedule. 2019-2020 schedule. Our first game will be against the Toronto Raptors. That will be Tuesday, October 22nd. So they'll start October 22nd. And then the home game will be against Dallas. That will be a 7 p.m. game. Also, they will take on the Houston Rockets. That will be on the road the next night on October 26th. Also, they will take on the Golden State Warriors. That will be at the Smoothie King Center. That will be a home game. Also, on Halloween night, they will take on Denver. So it's the Denver Nuggets that will take on them. Also, they will take on, let's see, Oklahoma City. That will be a 4 p.m. game. That will be a Saturday game. Also, they will take on Brooklyn. So that will be on the road at Brooklyn. Also, they will have a road home game against Toronto. So it's a home game against the Toronto Raptors. So they'll meet them again in November. Also, they will take on Charlotte. So they will take on Charlotte. That'll be a road game. Also, they'll have a home game against the Houston Rockets. That will be on November 11th. Also, they will take on the LA Clippers. That will be on November 14th. Also, they will take on the Miami Heat November 16th. Also, they will once again have a road home game against Golden State, and then they'll have home game that Tuesday night against the Portland Trailblazers. Now they'll go on the road for 3. So they'll go on the road for 3. That will be Phoenix, Utah, and the LA Clippers. So Phoenix, Utah, and the LA Clippers. They will have a home game on Wednesday night on November 27th against the um, LA Lakers. Also, they'll have a road game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That will be on Friday night, November 29th. Also, in December, they will have a home game against Oklahoma City. So they will be on the road that Friday, and then that Sunday they'll come back to the Smoothie King Center and play the Thunder again. Um, Also, they will have a home game against the Dallas Mavericks. That will be a 6:30 game. That will be on Turner Network TNT. That will be a Tuesday night game. Also, they will have a home game on Thursday night, December 5th against Phoenix. Also, they will take on once again the Dallas Mavericks. That will be on the road. That will be a 1 p.m. game. Also, they will take on Detroit. So that's going to be a pretty good schedule right there, going down the pipeline with this schedule for New Orleans Pelicans. Um, Also, they'll have a road game against Milwaukee. They went to the playoffs last year. Also, they will have a road game against Philadelphia. Also, they'll have a home game against Orlando. Also, Brooklyn, they'll have a home game there, and they will go on a 4-game road trip against Minnesota, Golden State, um, Portland, and also Denver. So they'll have that. That'll be the 4-game road trip starting December 18th through the 25th. So that's going to be the road game. So it's going to be a 4-game road schedule right there for them. Now, they will have a 2-game homestand against the Indiana Pacers. That will be on December 28th, and also December 29th. They'll have the Houston Rockets. Road game will be against Lakers and also Sacramento. Also, two-game homestand that will be against Utah on Monday, January 6th. Also, Wednesday, January 8th, we'll have the Chicago Bulls come in. Also, they will be on a 3-game road stand that will be against the Knicks, Boston Celtics, and also the Detroit Pistons. So they're going to meet the Detroit Pistons again. So they have them twice on the schedule. So also they will take on Utah, the Los Angeles Clippers. That will be 2 home games, and then they'll go back on the road on Monday, January 20th against Memphis. Also, they will take on San Antonio. That will be on January 22nd. January 24th, it will be Denver coming back in. Also, in the Boston Celtics, that will be a 5 p.m. game on Sunday, January 26th. Also, they will take on Cleveland. That will be a road game. They will be on, and then they'll come back home against the Memphis Grizzlies, and then go back on the road against Houston. Also, they will take on Milwaukee at home, and also go back on the road against Chicago and Indiana. Also, they will take on Portland. That will be February 11th, and also February 13th they will have Oklahoma City. They will have Portland on the road, Golden State, the Lakers on the road. Also, the 3-game homestand will be Cleveland, Lakers, and also Minnesota Timberwolves. Also, they will go back on the road. That will be in March 4th. It will be against Dallas. Also, they will take on Miami. That will be at home. Also, they will take on the road Minnesota, Sacramento, Utah, and also the Clippers. That'll be 4-game home road stand. Now, two-game homestand will be um, the Atlanta Hawks and also the Sacramento Kings. Also, they will have the Memphis Grizzlies. Three-game road stand will be against homestand, excuse me. Um, Kings, Memphis Grizzlies, and also the Knicks. That will be a three-game homestand. Now we go back on the road against Orlando, Atlanta, Washington, and Sacramento. That will be March 29th through April 5th. Now, April 7th through 13th, they will be at home against the Charlotte Hornets, Phoenix Suns, um, Philadelphia 76ers, also the Washington Wizards. So that will be a four-game homestand, and that will be the final homestand right there. And also they will have their final road game on Wednesday, April 15th against the Sacramento San Antonio Spurs. So that's your schedule for the New Orleans Pelicans basketball season. So that's going to be your first game will most likely be October 22nd on the road. So that will be so I look at it this way. This schedule is most likely going to be a very challenging one because you're going to have teams. You're going to have the first game of the year, and that's going to be the Raptors, and that's going to be a tough game right there because they are the world champions. So I'll be honest with you, this is going to be a very interesting 2019-2020 NBA season for the New Orleans Pelicans. So that's my take on the New Orleans Pelicans. This is from Nathan Brown. You can reach him at the Advocate/Times-Picayune. That's the Advocate/Times-Picayune. Okay, let's go ahead and switch out. See what this is. This is the other team then. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over. Okay, I'm going back over. Okay, this is out. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. Okay, a pause in his season, leading to a win. Big piece at the Masters Championship. Patrick Reed. This is from Scott Rabelais. You can reach him at the Advocate/Times-Picayune. That's the Advocate/Times-Picayune. He is also the Advocate in Baton Rouge, so it's all bunched together. So this is about Patrick Reed, PGA Tour. I look at it this way. Look, Scott Rabelais puts out some pretty good articles, and that's one thing he does. He puts out some pretty good articles. If you ask me, so this is about Patrick Reed in his big win at the Masters Championship. So this is from once again Scott Rabelais. You can reach him at the Advocate. That's the Advocate. That's in Baton Rouge. Okay, let's see what else we can talk about here. Okay, after hitting a wall Sunday, Saints rebound Monday. Pretty good practice, so I think that's good. I think that's after that loss last Friday night. Look, they need to rebound pretty quickly because I'm gonna be honest with you, they're going up against a damn good Chargers team that's not gonna accept any excuses from anybody. They're gonna kick the shit out of you. That's one thing they will do. The Los Angeles Chargers. I'm gonna be honest with you. That is a look. Sure, they might have made the playoffs last year, but I think the Saints can go up there and have a very pivotal game and come back a winner because they're going to be taking on the Jets next week after this game. So that's going to be even harder to the bad for the New Orleans Saints, but hopefully they can overcome these obstacles. So that's one thing you got to look at with this team. Sure, they might hit a wall on Sunday and screw up and all that and all that crap, but the truth of the matter is, look, the Saints just got to get it out of their system and focus on the Chargers, because this is going to be I mean, we don't want to see another blowout like we did last, a 34-25 loss like we did on Friday night. The Minnesota Vikings came in. They came in ready to win. That's one thing about it. They came in ready to win. They didn't come in to go see the sights in Bourbon Street and all that. They came here to win. That's one thing about it. And the Saints, look, if they can get the quarterback situation settled with Bridgewater and Taysom Hill, look, they will be okay in this game. If Taysom Hill does start in that game Sunday, look, it's most likely going to be probably around the second quarter or something like that. It most likely will be around that area. But we want to see more snaps from Teddy Bridgewater. That's what we want to see. It's more snaps. I mean, if we can get him more time, he can set his feet down. I'm pretty sure he will be okay against the Chargers. So, and also, look, I'm gonna tell you, Philip Rivers, that's another guy. Look, he's a Hall of Famer. Look, this guy, he's gonna be a Hall of Fame soon, just like Drew Brees will be. So that's one thing we're gonna be looking at this coming week when they take on the Chargers. Who could be that gunslinger coming out of the this preseason game? So I look at it this way. This is what, at least they bounced back from their little hangover and stuff like that. So like I said, they need, like I said, get it out of their system and just focus clearly on the Chargers. So this is from Herbie Toots. You can reach him at the Advocate / Tom Picayune. That's the Advocate / Tom Picayune. So I'm going to switch it over. Okay, LSU practice report. Let's talk about LSU practice. Let's go ahead and see what it was talking about. LSU practice report. Monday, August 12th, Joe Burrow, Christian Fulton returns from camp injury. So I'm glad to see Joe Burrow back at practice for LSU. So this is what we're showing you right here. This is from Brooke Navina. You can reach him at the Advocate / Thomas Picayune. That's the Advocate in Baton Rouge. It's all association with NOAA.com. And so he did return to practice today. So this is a look at Joe Burrow right here. We'll show you on the screen. Give me 1 second. Switch it over. So he's practicing with the first team. Brandon Fehoko said on Monday that Burrow couldn't play in Saturday's scrimmage if he wanted to. So he had a camp injury. So I'm glad that he's recovering from his camp injury. So starting quarterback Christian Fulton returned to practice since August 3rd. So he is recovered. So from a foot surgery. So I'm glad he's back on there. Also, Jamel Pettigrew and true freshman Trey Palmer both practiced for the first time. Also, second team Charles Turner returned. So I think this is good for this team because it's going to be it's going to be maybe 19, 20 days from football kickoff against Georgia Southern. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with the teams with LSU. Also, junior Kyle tight end K.T. Lamel Linden. I'm saying his name right. Also, Devontae Lee is also. So this is what we're showing you right here. It's another practice right here. We'll show you. Trey Palmer.
I gotta trust you, Kobe. I gotta trust you. Trey Palmer, nice to see you. 3-3. Let's see what you can do. No false steps. No false steps. Good.
That was Trey Palmer in that video. So I look at it this way. Miles Brennan last week went 8 for 13 passing in the last Saturday scrimmage. So I'm looking forward to seeing what if sure if Miles if Joe Burrow comes out a few plays, I would like to see Miles Brennan get in there. I would like to see him get in there, but I don't think he will, to be honest with you, because what? Joe Burrow can handle. Look, he can run now. He can run. He can be a prolific runner. That's one thing. He can be a prolific runner. But Miles Brennan is going to have to learn how to get out that pocket, because if he don't get out that pocket real quick, they're going to bury his ass. That's one thing about it. They're going to bury his ass. Because what? You have to have pocket presence when you in that pocket. Also, the defense recorded 5 sacks, so I think that was good. That was a very excellent practice last Saturday with the scrimmage, so I think that was good. So this is the roll call right here, what we're showing you. Roll call. Okay, these are your players that missed practice. D. Anderson, let's see, D. all the way through the 12th. Also, Pettigrew through the 9th. Also, Trey Palmer, also through, let's see, the 9th. Also, Dante Starks, all the way through the 12th. Stephen Sullivan through the 2nd. Also, Jeray Jenkins, also August 3rd, he was injured. Also, how you doing, Fox 87? What's going on? Going on? Let's see. Next one we're looking at is TJ McLendon. I'm gonna say his name right. He was out. Let's see. He was out August 3rd, August 4th, August. Let's see. August 7th, all the way through August 7th. So these are your players that's been missing the practice at LSU. So look, this is Christian Fulton. Christian Fulton, August 4th, August 5th, August 6th, August 7th, August 9th, and August 12th. So he came back to practice today. So I think that's good. No, not yet, Fox. Not yet. Not yet. We did it. We did it about a half hour ago. So if you can hear me, let's see if you can hear me. See if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Let's see. Yeah. Hear me. Can you hear me? All right. This is what we're talking about. So I look at it this way. All these players that's listed on this advocate sports writers. This is all to indicate these are all the absences of the players that this is a long list right here. So let's hope they stay healthy, because what? Anything can happen in practice. That's one thing. All right. All right. Thanks, Fox. So this is from once again. This is from Brooks Nabina. You can reach him at the Advocate. That's in Baton Rouge. That's the Advocate in Baton Rouge. Okay, let's give you another. Let's go to Kushner. Okay, Pelicans must be ready. Spotlight the Zion effect brings. I think the Pelicans will be ready for what's to come with Zion Williamson. Because that first schedule against the Toronto. Oh, where at on YouTube? Yeah. Let me see. Let me check this. there is on YouTube. He's telling me something. One more. Hold on 1 second and make sure everything is up. And I'm not getting the buffer thing. Yeah, we're still on, Fox. We're still on. You tell him we're still on. We are still on YouTube. Tell him we're still on. It's still on. I don't want to be disrupted. Tell him YouTube is still on. YouTube is still on. So that schedule, we just looked at that schedule with the Toronto Raptors. That's going to be something right there to focus on right there with Zion Williamson. Because that's the world champions we're talking about. So that is the first game. The first game. I did go over the schedule. Fox, I did go over the schedule. Yep. So I'll be honest with you. This is going to be a very interesting year for the New Orleans Pelicans because look, I want to see is this team gonna turn around or be the same team that they was last year. So I want to see what's gonna happen. So to be honest with you, so this is from Scott Kushner. He does cover the New Orleans Pelicans. He's a contributing writer, so you can follow him at he has the email, so you can go to his email anytime. It's mail to Kushner at theadvocate.com. That's mail to Kushner at theadvocate.com. You see it on the bottom of your screen. We're showing it, highlighting it. So, okay, let's see. Let's talk about, okay, last man standing. Keyshawn McLean, only two signing left in the Curtis Johnson era. That's one of the guys. He was signed from John Curtis. He is a 6'4", 305 player. He is from Port Charlotte, Florida. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Keyshawn McLean. This is from Gary Smith. You can reach him at the Advocate / Times Picayune. That's the Advocate / Times Picayune. So he also covers Tulane football. So I think this is a good setup for him be on Coach Rich's team. So that's the news on them. So let's go ahead and switch over. Okay, here's injured blew out. Brandon Fajoko returns a fumble in the LSU scrimmage until Miles Brennan caught him. So this guy, Brandon Fajoko, I'm going to be honest with you. This guy is a beast. You see how he looks? He is a beast. Brandon Fajoko. That's one thing about it. We have some talent right there. So I think, look, if he can make his presence known in the 2019 season, he'll be a legitimate factor with LSU. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to is the play out of Brandon Fajoko. So make no mistake about it. So he made some plays in that scrimmage game last Saturday. So I think that's very important. So that's from Wilson Alexander. You can reach him at the Advocate. That's the Advocate. He's talking about. I'm very busy right now. I'll see you later. So let's switch it over. Okay, next section, we're gonna go over. Let's see, pull this up. Okay, weekend trip home gets extended for Saints lineman Chris Cross. It's a dream come true. So I think this is good for this young man, Chris Clark. He's to come home past weekend to celebrate his mom's 60th birthday. So that's good. I'm glad to let Coach Peyton let him take off like that. So that's good for the young man's character and morale and stuff like that. So we're looking at it right now. So this is from Amy Just. You can reach her at The Advocate. It's The Advocate / Times Picayune. We have to say that because it's combined together. So, all right. See what else we need to talk about tonight. Right. Okay. Okay. New Orleans Pelicans newly released schedule. There are 12 biggest matchups. So that's gonna be some matchups right there. I've seen the schedule, so there's gonna be some biggest matchups to bear. Um, so I look at it this way. This is going to be the determining factors. Era begins once again October 22nd. So also these are your home openers right here. We're showing you on the screen. So and also the Brow returns. That will be on November 27th. So that will be in the Smoothie King Center. Also, home for the holidays, the Pelicans will have a Christmas Day slate that will be against the Denver Nuggets. That will be a 9:30 game at night. So 9:30 at night. So also the Blue Devil showdown between R.J. Barrett and also when the Knicks come to town on March 27th. Also 1 versus 2, so it's 1 versus 2. Jamont versus also Zion Williamson. That will be against the Memphis Grizzlies on New Year's night. That will be on at 7 p.m. Also the Battle of the Beast. This is another one against the LA Clippers, November 14th. Also the result of the draft night trade. This is against the Atlanta Hawks. That will be one of the battles. That will be Nickel Alexander Walker. So I think this is going to be a very interesting scenario. So go ahead and switch it over. See what else we're going to talk about. Okay, I'm looking at it on my screen. Okay, talked about the Pelicans already. All right. Let's talk about what John Bell Edwards said about the Superdome. Saints Louisiana officials are working to keep the Saints here for 30 years. I think it's very important we keep the Saints for 30 years because look, they are a pivotal role of the city's economy and stuff like that, and also the state's economy in the long run. Look, if you renovate the stadium, you're going to get more events coming in. You might get the next time you might get a national championship because that's going to be in 2020. That's going to be next year, and you'll get look, the Saints they're going to be here for a while. I mean, a lot of people saying all the Saints are going to leave New Orleans, all that blah, 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 blah. No. They're not going to leave New Orleans at all. It's a, let's see, $450 million renovation to the Superdome. So that's going to be the key right there. Is to get that dome renovated so you can host more events. Because look, New Orleans, look, I'm going to tell you, New Orleans is a good place to host an event. Because look, Um, despite the look, you got the it's in walking distance. Everything is in complete walking distance. But you got the hotels downtown and Canal Street and all that, and then you got the Superdome right there. You also got the Smoothie King Center. I mean, you get it's in walking distance. Look, you can catch um, you can catch the bus, and also the transportation in the city is very adequate with the buses and stuff like that, and the streetcars. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to seeing this city in the Superdome in a few years. Because look, we can host a lot of events. We can host the Super Bowl. We can host the national championship. We hosted the I think the SEC gymnastics championship last I think this coming year. So I think it's very important that we do maintain the the Superdome. So that's my take on it. What's yours? What you think? Do you think the Saints are getting a good deal with the renovations? Stay here for 30 years, or you think the Saints are getting um, the shaft? So you can give me your take. Your Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. YouTube is working. We saw it just a few minutes ago, so please don't worry about YouTube. Everything is on. So you might experience some buffering, but hey, it'll work. So it's still on. So okay, let's see what else we need to talk about today. Let's go ahead and look at some more stuff. Uh, see. I think I've covered everything on the advocate. Let's go ahead and give you some MLB scores one more time. In this hour, let's give you another scoreboard update. Okay, okay, the Washington Nationals are up 7-4, bottom 8. Also, it is the Yankees up 11-6. That is in the top of the ninth. Baltimore has bases loaded and one out. Also, it is Toronto up 17-3 on the Texas Rangers. So Toronto's looks like they're destroying the Rangers tonight. Runners at first to second and two outs. Also, it is the top of the eighth. It is the Indians up 5-4. Also, it is the Rockies up 4-1. They have runners at first and second in the top of the fourth. Also, warming up as just about to begin. Pittsburgh and the Angels will play out in Los Angeles. Also, at 9:10 Central, just about a few minutes from now, will be the Padres and Rays. Also, let's see, the Yankees went 8-4. That's 8-5. Excuse me, 8-5. That was the first game, but the Yankees right now is leading 11-6 in the top of the ninth. So that is the minor league scoreboard. Let's give you the AAA scoreboard for minor league baseball. Okay, bottom of the eighth, the Baby Cakes up 7-1, so 7-1 Baby Cakes. Also, it is Oklahoma City winning 9-0. That's in the top of the sixth. Also in the top of the sixth, it is Omaha leading 3-2. Also, it is Iowa up 5-0. Also, it is Round Rock up 4-0. That is the bottom of the fifth. Albuquerque is batting. Also, it is El Paso up 3-1. Also, it is getting ready to start Sacramento and um, Nashville. Also, Memphis and Fresno will play. That's out in Fresno, California. Give you the AA scoreboard. AA scoreboard. It is top of the eighth, 7-5. Corpus Christi on top. Also, Midland is on top 2-0. Also, Springfield is on top 2-1, bottom 6. Also, it is Arkansas on top 3-0. That is in the bottom of the 6th. Everybody's on. The speaker's still on. So that's already going on. So that's the scores for this hour. Let's go ahead and see what else we need to talk about here tonight. Switch is over. I think we covered everything. So let me go ahead and shut off. Shut off the equipment. Okay. Okay, this concludes tonight's Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Monday, August 12th. We'll be back tomorrow with the regular show. We'll have the wrestling video tonight, so we'll have that most likely right after Raw, so it's going to be recorded, so no live stream, so we'll do that tonight, so we'll have that up. It'll be for Monday Night Raw, so that will happen tonight. Also, we will be on tomorrow with the podcast as well. Like, share, and subscribe. Everything's on the screen. You see it directly on my screen. Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Show on Facebook, WordPress, Instagram, Tumblr, and also Reddit. You can email me anytime if you got a show concern or just a question. I'll gladly answer it in the best way I can. You can follow me, email me at kerry.wehmeyer@yahoo.com. Also, you can follow me on the social media addresses, facebook.com/kerry.wehmeyer, that's number 75. Also, you can follow me on the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Facebook page, that is facebook.com/KLW, that's KLW, that is my initials, 782540. Also, you can follow me at tumblr.com/sportstalk78. Also, you can follow me on reddit.com/user, that's another, let's go user, and then LSU 2lane2505, that's LSU 2lane2505. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at sportstalk2505. You got to put the underscore below the sports and talk. So that's the easy way you can get me on the social media platforms. As always, everybody have a good rest of your Monday evening. We'll be back tomorrow with tomorrow's show. So everybody have a good evening.